Guy Crittenden of Canada recently announced that he was going to be publishing an article, a very well-researched article about bifurcation of society. And this is something that has been on my mind probably my entire life. I'm not gonna lie, I think that even as a child, I was interested in the splitting of society, the splitting apart of society. And so when he announced that he was going to be publishing this article, I found myself really excited about it. It really resonated with me. So I think that what we're going to be seeing as we continue along this path is some challenges ahead, some serious challenges ahead. Because we know that the goal is population reduction. We know that the goal is to reduce the population by a significant amount. This has been announced to us for decades, for years. And I always knew, being Generation X, that this was going to be something that I would have to address in my lifetime, being born in 1970 and knowing that now that we're in 2020, that I'm going to be 50 at the end of 2020. And I always kind of knew that I was going to have to come to this moment in my life, this sort of come to Jesus moment, where I was going to have to decide, whether I was going to be part of, be a part of one half of society or the other. So when Guy Crittenden announced that he was going to be doing a very in-depth article about the bifurcation of society, I actually became very excited. It felt very much like this is sort of what I'd been waiting for my whole life. We've been archiving history on our platform since March. The first time that we knew that there was going to be like a significant change in society was when all of the governments all across the world were occupied by the central banks, and that all of society will now become nationalized, and that we're no longer, a free society. And this goes beyond even, 1984. This goes beyond, the horrific past atrocities of World War II and the Holocaust. This goes beyond that, because that was just Europe. So now this is the whole world. When the goal is to reduce the entire population of the world, when that's the goal, then, we all experience this kind of existential crisis. And that's what we're all experiencing right now, is an existential crisis. And we're all reacting to that existential crisis in our own way. We're all, some of us are, turning to religion. Some of us are turning to gardening. Some of us are turning to each other. Some of us are taking to our art and creating a narrative and stories to archive what's happening for the future generations that do survive this atrocious plan. We're in the midst of a great crisis. And it's baffling to me that people still behave as if it's the 20th century and that this crisis is not upon us. And I'm not talking about a heavily funded marketing campaign to make you believe that you're a vector of an invisible virus. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the real crisis. I'm talking about the reduction of the population and the bifurcation of society as a result. And I'm also talking about the enslavement of children, which we just talked about in our last video called Lifelong Learning. So there will be some that survive, and there will be some that won't. And I think we know who those who are not going to survive all of this. I think we know who they are. And all we can do is wish them well. You know? But this is it. And in the fall, we're going to see some serious draconian measures that rival even what we saw before. We're going to see more lockdowns and more of the taking away of civil liberties. We might have some pretty awful things happening right in our own backyards and front yards, you know. And we have to be strong. You have to be able to, you know, have an idea of what to expect without letting that idea take hold of you and destroy your resolve to stay alive. I'm talking about depopulation. I'm talking about population reduction. I'm talking about trillion-dollar goals that are meant to depopulate the planet for the benefit of the wealthy class. They're over our existence. They're done with us. They're over us. We have cluttered up the planet. We have dirtied up their planet for too long, and they're done with us. So right now they're teaching the children how to be the slaves, to manage the automation so that they can live in a beautifully perfect, reduced population, automated planet, and they're just going to keep a few of us alive just long enough to tend to the automation. Kind of the way the rich people hire a few gardeners to take care of their vast land. You see what I'm saying? So that's it. Those are the goals. That's what's happening. And it's a very simple concept. It's a very simple thing to understand. It really is. It's really simple. There's nothing complicated about it. A small segment of the population will remain in order to take care of and tend to the needs of the wealthy class and to go through the automation and make sure the automation is running well. You don't need 8 billion people to do that. You only need maybe like a couple of million. That's a huge reduction in the population. I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm not asking you to accept this fact. I'm not asking you to get on the street corner and start telling everybody you know about this fact. I'm asking you to please not let it destroy you. Allow the thing that's in you to keep you alive. The bifurcation of society will come first. And I'm super excited that Guy Crittenden has announced that he's going to be producing this article, because I'm very curious about what it entails, because it seems to reflect everything that I've ever believed my entire life since I was a small child, that eventually I was going to see the end of the world, and that I was going to see the bifurcation and the separation of society, and the separation of those people who decide to fall in line with government orders and those who don't. You might find yourself in very bizarre company with those who believe what you believe and those who want to live a life that you want to live. All those people that you may have dismissed out of hand are suddenly going to be the people that you would consider your allies, your compadres, your comrades. It's an incredible thing. So this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to not be a part of that end goal, that population reduction goal. This is an opportunity not to be a part of it. This is an opportunity to look for something else. And I don't know what that something else is. I can only tell you an artistic version of what I think that it could be and what I think that it should be, but I can't tell you what it really is. I don't have the answers. We are fumbling around in the dark just like everybody else, trying to find the answers to this situation. But here we are. So, fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Book of Hours is determined to remain an essential platform that offers a creative interpretation for lockdown skeptics and experts who have been censored by mainstream press. Thanks to your donations, we can carry on doing this essential work as working artists. These big issues of the day are vital and need to be heard. So please share our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, make a one-time donation on our PayPal page, but most importantly, please be a part of our team on our Patreon page. Go to patreon.com/bookofhours and hit the blue button titled Become a Patron. Thank you.